everyone. I'm Lori with Behavior Education at Spirit Keeper Equine Sanctuary. Welcome to Royals at the Ranch for Thursday, April 7th, 2022. In this episode, I'm going to give you a Mesmer update. We're going to feature our all-white Royal Python Mesmer for this episode. He's also featured on our t-shirt. Mesmer was hatched on August 5th, 2020 and arrived here on April 21st, 2021. Now he came from a very, very large scale breeder who of course kept all of the hatchlings in a breeder rack. So all Mesmer knew in his first 8 months of life was the inside of a tub, and he got fed in there and that was it. So he wasn't desensitized to human activity or household activity. He wasn't desensitized to handling. He wasn't habituated to any of the activity that he would encounter during his journey here or once he got here. He wasn't exposed to any environmental stimulation or physical exercise. And he was microchipped right before shipping. Now, we microchip all of our animals here, including our snakes, our horses, our dogs, our cats, but we work them up gradually to having that microchip implanted. We build a trusting relationship with them. We desensitize them to handling and touch. We habituate them to what that procedure is going to be like. So finally, when we actually implant the microchip, it is not a stressful situation for them. Mesmer looked like he had literally been microchipped and then put in a box and shipped here. He was bloody where the microchip had been implanted, and he had blood on his face and other parts of his body. I would imagine that was not a pleasant experience for him if, in fact, he was removed from the tub, the only life he'd ever known, stuck with a needle to be microchipped, and then put in a box and shipped across the country. This may be what has contributed to his shy nature and his generalized fear since arriving here. He is by far our most fearful and shy snake that we work with. He has come a long way, and I'm happy to share some of his progress with you in this video tonight. I'm checking in on Mesmer at about 5 p.m. actually on Wednesday afternoon. It's still daylight outside, so it's daylight in his enclosure, and he's inside his humid hide. I'm going to try to zoom in here so that you can take a look. That was really convenient for me because I have worked him up to the point where he is okay with me spot cleaning and taking his water dish out and cleaning it if he's in a hide. Now we're checking in on him a few hours later. It's about 9:30 p.m. and it's dark outside, so now the lights are off in his enclosure, and he has moved over to his ground hide, but he's sitting there with his head and the front part of his neck out. He's doing that on most nights now, which I'm really happy to see from him. And as you can see, he's staying that way even though I'm walking around taking a video. Now it's much later, it's about 10:30 or so p.m. and I'm doing a target training session with him. And I'm just really, really pleased that he oriented to the target and he made a move for the target. So I wanted to reinforce that right away. And that's why I put the reinforcement out there so quickly. But you notice I didn't move it closer to him. I had him come to the target and to the reinforcer. And I'm really impressed with the fact that he stayed out of hiding to eat his meal, and that it's not frightening him that my hands are moving around outside of his enclosure as I shut and lock the doors. This is a huge change for him because he used to take that food and snatch it and take it back into the hide with him. This is 11 something at night, his second repetition during the same target training session. He's already out and watching me, and he moved forward a little bit, and I'm opening the doors and it's not frightening him. He's watching me. I was really, really pleased with this. Just so impressed with how far he seems to have come in this last month or so. So I start the second repetition during this target training session, and he's orienting towards the target and he starts to move towards it. So I decide I'm going to change its direction just slightly and see if I can't encourage him to come even closer to the enclosure threshold than he's ever come before. And he did. Now he struck out once and missed the reinforcer, but he grabbed it on the second time. And again, he stayed out and ate it right there. This is Mesmer actually on Thursday, April 7th, actually a few hours before this video is going to air. He looks adorable. He is so cute. It's about 4:15 in the morning, and he is sitting out there on that rock looking out the door and not bothered at all that I am walking back and forth in front of him. These photos are actually of Mesmer on Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. And his behavior then is really what made me feel confident about doing his target training sessions the way I did on Wednesday evening. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Join me next week for another episode of Royals at the Ranch. And until then, everybody, please remember to always be kind and love your animals.